Hi, everyone, and welcome to Live on Xbox for the week of February 24th. We have some stuff to talk about. Big news, not just in Xbox, but across the gaming community. I'm Shawn.
Austin's here.
Yep, Austin's here. And we're just going to have some fun and let's get to it. So let's start off with what have you been playing this week, Austin?
Honestly, I haven't really touched too many new things. I've been grinding out the Fortnite because the new event that came out allows me to get the battle pass for the next season for free. So I just worked on that. I was busy this week with other things, so it was kind of a slow week for me. But I kept up with the news. Some very interesting things happened in the world of Xbox and video games.
Yep, for sure. There was a big launch again this week. That's 2 weeks in a row. This week it was Anthem, and last week was Crackdown. But how do you, from what you've heard, how did Anthem fare?
Well, it's been kind of a mixed bag. If we look at Metacritic, just like we looked at for Crackdown, Anthem's currently holding a 61%. That is drastically different than a lot of the other BioWare games. Like even Mass Effect Andromeda, I think, had better critical reception than Anthem. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's very indicative of the changing of the guard that happened over at BioWare and the way EA has been working over these last couple of years using like live service kind of games. And yeah, I don't know. I've been looking into it, and people are voicing their opinions about, the just terrible mission design, lackluster storytelling, which is shocking from BioWare, who, they did Mass Effect. Like, that's a huge story-driven game. And then you get Anthem, which is kind of like a looter shooter Destiny-style game with a story, but not really. I don't know. It's really different seeing BioWare fall like this.
Yeah, I have talked to a couple people who have played it, and they say they are liking it. They have recommended that I try it at least. I did go to Best Buy and I was just inquiring to see if they had it. And I was debating picking it up, but I got there, and they said that this is Best Buy out in Saskatchewan here in Saskatoon, and they didn't have any. They never got it, they said.
What? They never got a physical copy in store?
Yeah, the exact words is when I asked, do you have any copies of Anthem? Because I didn't see any on the shelf. He was like, not that I can disclose. So I'm assuming they probably got some pre-orders, but they probably didn't get the more than that by the sounds of it.
That's kind of shocking. I mean, how are they really just trying to push the EA access, or what do you think's the point of that?
I don't know.
Do you think it's a store by store kind of thing?
I think it's store by store, but it's odd for a big chain like that not to get the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm quite disappointed.
Yeah, like you're saying, like people have been saying, like it's fun to play, and like the flight mechanic that they have in it, the exploration's really good. But like I was saying, like considering it's BioWare, this game, yes, it's visually impressive, it's fun, it's got some cool mechanics, but overall, like it just is so plain. Like there's other games that have done what Anthem does, and it's done it better. Like Warframe, even some aspects of Destiny 2 are a little better, like especially the loot. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, like I'm saying, it's just very indicative of how EA is like moving more towards these titles that are not necessarily supposed to make a big impact, as in like changing games. They're there to make their money and continuously pushing out updates and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm curious to give it a shot. Don't know when that will be, but hopefully soon, and once I do, I'll have to let everyone know how it is. But it looks interesting, but it sounds like it's falling pretty flat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely willing to give it a try, but I'm not going to go in with these massive expectations that some people have, mainly because I've seen, what people have said. So you can like taper your expectations that way a little bit more.
Yeah. So, and then besides Anthem, there weren't any other big releases this week, right?
Not that I can think of. Anthem really took up the spotlight this week.
Okay. And then there's news outside of Xbox, big news. Reggie from Nintendo retired.
Yeah, he was the head of Nintendo North America, a big personality in the gaming industry. He was up there with Phil Spencer and Shawn Layden. Shawn Layden from PlayStation and obviously Phil Spencer from Xbox. They were the big three, and
Really, my boy.
yeah, it's very interesting. It's very, I don't know. It's bittersweet, I would say, seeing him retire just because he was so in tune with his audience.
Yeah, and I am glad that we got that moment in the Game Awards this year when we had all three of the heads on stage together, and that just wouldn't have been the same without Reggie.
Yeah, I don't know. He brings a different kind of personality. Phil Spencer is very laid back and he's like one of us. Reggie is definitely like a Nintendo guy. Like you could just see the way he like moves and talks and interacts at the different events that they've had. Just a very relatable person when it comes to him talking about the games.
Yeah, and like you think about these heads, and the one of the most prominent ones that I think people into gaming recognize is Reggie.
Yeah, he's definitely got one of those. I don't know if someone saw a picture of him off the street, they could probably say they recognize him. Maybe not point out what he does, but yeah, he's definitely one of those people that you can recognize easily because he's made such a splash.
Yeah, and now the Nintendo of America is in the hands of a new head.
Coming in April, I think, is when he retires.
Yeah, so it's I know his last name, Bowser. I forget his first name.
I'll look it up real quick here.
But like, with a name like Bowser, I don't think you could pick a better representative of Nintendo.
Yeah, that name it lines up very well with what they do.
Yeah,
Doug Bowser.
Doug Bowser. Yeah,
Currently the SVP of sales.
Okay, and he did have a photo on Twitter, and it had Luigi and Mario in the back tied up by a GameCube controller. So that was kind of funny to see. So
and then definitely has some big shoes to fill in terms of reaching out to the audience.
Yeah, and like Nintendo of America, they are different in a sense than just Nintendo or Xbox or Sony because they're not the ones making the games. They're not the head of the company. They're a division. So it makes sense why they would put a sales guy into that position.
Yeah, they're really, as far as I understand it, over in Japan, they make all like the big decisions, and then the North America branch like relays it to us, so it's a little bit more like easier to digest. Like I could be explaining it wrong, but it's kind of like
they're the ones selling the products
on to people over here in North America rather than having all these like press releases from over in out east.
Yeah, they're the ones selling the product to Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's other big news coming out of, well, actually, we'll stick on the Nintendo thing. That rumor that, and speculation that we brought up a couple of weeks ago about xCloud and the Nintendo Switch. It's gaining traction, and a lot of people think that this having Xbox Live on a Nintendo Switch is going to basically make the Switch an Xbox.
Do you think that they would bring over a lot of their titles, or like how do you think it's going to work in your like what you think?
Well, if they have the xCloud, then it's going to be the library. It's going to be just what's on Game Pass and future releases. That's what they're going for.
How do you think that's going to like affect like the Nintendo marketplace?
Well, it allows people not to have to worry about, like, they don't have to think too much about the console they're getting. They could be like, oh, well, I could buy a Switch and bring it on the go with me, and I can have all of my Xbox games on there and the save data. And that's going to be big. They don't really have to think, oh, if I get the Switch, then I can't play Halo on it, and I can't have my save data from my Xbox come with me on the road. That's kind of what I'm seeing there and what I'm thinking. So people are going to just look at it as an Xbox.
I'm pretty sure for playing Nintendo games online, they have a subscription service, correct?
They have, yes, they do. It's called Nintendo Direct.
No, I believe Nintendo Direct is their.
Well, I think it's called the same thing.
Really? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but they do have a subscription service. So, like, do you think you'd have to double up on your subscriptions? Like, you'd have to get the Nintendo one and then the Xbox Live / Game Pass, or?
Oh, it's just called Nintendo Online. So, well, I don't know. I was reading another article today that suggested that it was perhaps just going to be that you, well, it wasn't suggesting, it was suggesting that Nintendo scraps their service and just uses Xbox Live.
I mean, the infrastructure is already there. They wouldn't have to do too much.
And it would be saving Nintendo money on the servers and dealing with all that. And they wouldn't have to deal with any of it because someone else is dealing with it already.
I think, honestly, that would be one of the best decisions they can make, because then they, like you're saying, they don't have to worry about the back end.
Yeah. If a server goes down, it's Xbox is going to be fixing it, not Nintendo. A lot less is on their plate, and they can handle it a lot better, I think. And more people are on Xbox Live than they're on Nintendo Switch Online. So they know they can handle the traffic and all that.
I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical, not as in like I don't think it could work, but I don't know if Nintendo will, go for it.
Well, they're already going for it.
Kind of, yeah, with crossplay, they're kind of already in the bed with Microsoft there.
Well, and Xbox Live is coming to Nintendo. That's not an if, it's just a when. It's been announced.
Yeah, true. So. I don't know. It just, in a way, it's kind of like they're marketing Xbox over their own product.
Yeah, but if it improves their own product, then why not?
Yeah, okay.
Because the Nintendo faithful, that's what they are. They're faithful to Nintendo, and that won't change just because Xbox Live is coming to their Switch.
Yeah, maybe considering that PlayStation has pulled out of E3, maybe we could see like a joint conference, or at least have like a Nintendo representative come on stage at the Xbox presentation.
Well, I think it's also going to probably be just marketed as, well, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if at E3 we have something like that when they talk about it. But they've been announcing games as Xbox Play Anywhere and Xbox coming soon to Xbox Game Pass. And I think that's what we're going to get at E3 this year, is coming soon to Game Pass and Xbox Live or something like that.
Yeah, or world premiere.
Well, we'll definitely get the world premiere, but we'll be also getting the coming soon to Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Game Pass. And
I think for a game like Sea of Thieves, I think that would actually, like, having a whole bunch of different people on different consoles coming to play that game, that would be like a hub, for cross-platform.
Yeah, and I could definitely see Sea of Thieves being something Nintendo fans flock to.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's the kind of game built for
for
like
that kind of community.
Nintendo is considered like a more of in my like the way I see it is like they're more of a, I don't know, play with your friends, like get
Party
together
and
kind of thing.
social.
Yeah, so a social system. And if there's one game on Xbox that's a social game, it's definitely Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. And then this week there were also different rumors that Halo Infinite will be a launch title for the next Xbox.
Yeah, I thought that was very I don't know, I didn't expect it. Like I was saying a couple weeks ago, to me Halo is like that November title, right? You know, get it at the holidays. Um so do you think that like they usually launch consoles in October, November, so that would still be on the timeline for when Halo would come out, but as a launch title, I don't think we've had Halo as a launch title since Halo 1.
Halo 3, Austin.
No, Halo 3 came out a couple months after
Halo
the.
3, wasn't that a launch title for the Xbox 360?
I'm gonna double check. No, it wasn't, Sean.
Oh,
It
that's
came out
surprising.
almost a year after the first Xbox or the Xbox 360. A year, oh, almost 2 years. Sorry.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so it could possibly be the first Halo launch title since the original Halo.
Yeah. And, that's a good way. That's how Halo should be. However, that being said, I will be very disappointed if it doesn't play on my Xbox One X.
I can't see them not having like, because remember, Phil Spencer, he promised us that
Billy,
everything
you promised us.
yeah, Phil, you promised me everything from now on, from the Xbox One forwards, it'll work, like any hardware, like the controllers, all that, it's gonna work.
Yeah,
So
he was
I mean, I'll
definitely
be
talking about
disappointed if it
moving
doesn't.
moving it to like a PC model where it'll be like high graphics, medium graphics, low graphics until it's phased out. Like you have an Xbox One original, that one will probably start to get phased out, and you've already noticed game quality going down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to upgrade in a year and a half, or oh well, so hopefully as soon as I can. But honestly, it'll probably be a year for me.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they're going to, because you don't feel like your console doesn't work. You just feel like it's underpowered.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some weird issues, like a Microsoft Store not loading for like 4 days in a row. I've had games take eons to load up. Besides that, I mean, it's great.
It works. But it's not like you feel like you're getting phased out. It
No, I
feels
mean, I
like
can
an old
still play
computer,
games with
right?
you, even though you're on the newest version, right?
Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I could still play games with you, even though it's you're on the newest console version. Like, it works enough for me.
Yeah, you just kind of feel like it's like an old laptop or an old computer that you're using. It's not as good as the new one.
Yeah, that'd be a good comparison.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I see them doing soon. My biggest hope is that they don't make me buy new controllers. I
I
think we've
do
reached a
not see
point.
that. Like, if anything that won't change, it's going to be the controllers. The controllers are perfect in my opinion,
Yeah.
and I don't see why they wouldn't work with the new console.
Well, and they made these controllers like PC controllers. The Windows 10 had default drivers built in this time. You didn't need anything special to connect them, and they're really the first controller that is open to being compatible with the next generation console.
Yeah, I could see maybe like the original Xbox One controllers, like the ones that don't have Bluetooth built into them, those maybe not working with the newest versions of the consoles that are coming out. But other than that, like the ones with the Bluetooth, I don't see why they wouldn't work.
Well, I don't think they'd use Bluetooth for console play because it's not as reliable as their dedicated one.
Yeah, but I mean, just in terms of what may or may not work, like I'm just talking about, like
Well,
first version might not be compatible.
Well, did you actually know that computers can use the dedicated Xbox connection?
Do you still need that USB dongle?
Well, you can get that, but there are computers made for gaming that ship with a chip built in, so that it's actually built into your computer to have dedicated Xbox One controller wirelessly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could see them doing that for the next console, is something like that. But these are the first controllers I feel that are equipped to move on to the next console.
The one thing that has me skeptical about these rumors is that they keep changing some of the code names for the consoles.
Yeah,
like I've seen four different names. That's why I'm kind of on the fence about if this is true or not.
I don't think we're getting different code names. I think they're all for different products.
Okay, because I've seen like Scarlet. I've seen.
Well, Scarlet and Anaconda are two different.
Anaconda. There was a third one that I heard, but I can't remember.
I heard of 3. I forget what the third one is, but Scarlet and Anaconda are 2 separate consoles.
Okay, so Scarlet, Lockhart, Anaconda.
Okay. And
they will be allegedly will be announced alongside the rumored partnership between Nintendo and Microsoft.
Okay. And then the rumor is one of them is just an upgraded Xbox One S without a disc drive. And then the other one is a stream box with a disc drive to play all your games. And then the other one is a dedicated stream box.
The one I would probably get would have a disc drive just because I have a lot of games on disc that I don't have the digital copy for, but I have more digital games than physical ones. So either way, I'm not hurting. It's just like there are some that I would.
Well, that's also why they have the that I'm not sure if it's been confirmed or a rumor, but it was the disc to digital service they were coming out with.
The one thing about that, how would they prevent people from handing a disc to their friend and then...
It's a full-on trade-in from my understanding.
Oh, okay. So you probably would have to go to like a Microsoft store or something.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, so discless Xbox One reportedly set for 2019 with disc to digital program. And where is the report also this is from windowscentral.com. The report also details a planned disc to digital program launching for the consoles, allowing existing disc owners to convert select games to digital licenses. Under this, you can trade discs at participating locations, hoping to ease the conversion for those invested in physical media. All this could launch as early as spring 2019, yet the firm isn't committing to a launch window internally. And it wouldn't be the first time we saw something like this, because if you recall, quite a few years ago, I don't think it lasted long, but Walmart actually had a disc to digital service for DVDs and Blu-rays, where you would go in and swap your physical copy in to get a ultraviolet copy of your movie.
Shawn, slide your chair backwards a little bit. You see that shelf right behind you? That looks beautiful, okay? That's what I want my Xbox games to look like. And if I can't keep that case, I'm gonna miss out on the aesthetic, man.
Yeah, so these are like 245 Blu-ray movies. That's my collection. I like collecting physical copies, but I think it's with video games, it seems to be it's ending soon.
I mean, it's going to be hard for me to adjust that. It took a long time for me to come around on buying digital copies of games. So maybe I'm just a little bit old school, but I don't know, there's something about looking at a shelf with all, your green disc cases, and you just look at them and you're like, yeah, I played those.
Yeah. And I think the hardest part of it is going to be people's internet. Like I have a good internet, but I know people out in rural communities don't. Um, like some people still only have the 2 megabits down, and it takes forever for them to actually download anything. So imagine trying to download an 80 gigabyte game on 2 megabits per second download speed. You're sitting there for a week.
Yeah, that would be pretty brutal.
So
Also, another thing is there's a lot of like parents who are still kind of trying to figure out the video game landscape. Like if you go to any like GameStop or EB Games, you still get those people who are confused as to why you can't play Xbox games on Nintendo. So like imagine trying to tell them like you can't buy discs anymore. Like they're just gonna get so confused. Like for the general consumer, I
yeah,
think it would be a
and you
confusing
know what? I
situation.
think it's a lot of retailers are going to get scared about it because now instead of trying to sell a physical thing for what they are selling, if they continue to be in business, they're going to be have to selling cards. Like,
They
and
don't. I don't believe they make any profit off of gift cards and whatnot, like or buying the games on like on a card.
yeah, and so it's going to be different. And then also like I was at EB Games today, not today, sorry, this weekend, and a mom was in there trying to buy 3 months of Xbox Live Gold. And they were out of cards. So the employee said, "Oh, we're actually out of the cards, but I can sell you a digital code and it prints on the receipt." So, can you imagine a store like EB Games shrinking down to just a till where people get receipts with their codes on them?
Well,
It's
that's
like,
not too far off of what's actually going to be happening.
yeah,
Is
that's what I'm suggesting. It's going to be
Yeah, I
weird.
know, but I'm just talking about like even now, like GameStop is having issues keeping some of their stores open.
Well, they
They've been
were
trying to
going to close, and then they announced that they weren't, I believe.
yeah, they had some investors lined up. Like it's been a whole fiasco for that company. But yeah, they've been slowly shrinking down the number of stores that they have. Um, they were like you're saying, like they were closing and then they got money now, so they're still open. Like stores like that, like GameStop used to be a giant, and like now that it's going down, like I could see like this maybe just being the killer.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll find a lot more will become clearer at E3. And then it'll become even more clear when Sony finally gets back on board and lets their fan base know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've been keeping everyone in the dark for these past couple of months.
Yeah, they're just waiting for Xbox to make their move, and they're going to be caught in the dust.
I think maybe they're gonna don't they have something, I forget what it's called. It's like their own PlayStation exclusive like conference. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of like a fan experience. I forget what the exact name is, but I think that that's where you're going to see them make a lot of announcements rather than on the show floor at E3.
yeah. So I think it's going to be different. We're going to see. I can't wait till E3. I am very excited.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been probably talking about it every episode for almost 2 months now. It's just because that is really where like you get all of the excitement and hype builds up to this one moment in June, and boom, you get everything. Like all of the rumors get confirmed or denied. You could talk about like 15 different things because everything is just getting talked, like shown off. You see
Yeah, you do
gameplay.
realize we're going to have to do like a live show for that one.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to plan it out. But yeah, I always watch E3. Like I'm
Yeah,
always
like
on top of that.
last year we were on Xbox Live talking to each other during E3, and then Halo comes on, and I just yell, "It's Halo!"
I didn't even have a chance to, kind of pay attention to what was happening. You're just going off about Halo. I'm like, dude, it's a Rhino. I don't know if that's Halo. I honestly thought it was an Avatar game.
It's Halo! And then
Yeah, I
when
don't know.
what was it at the end that came on? Um, that surprise trailer at the very end of E3 for Xbox. And I thought it was Halo again, and I start yelling, and it's not Halo.
I forget what it was.
It's by the people who did The Witcher 3.
Ooh, Cyberpunk 20.
Yeah, so that comes on, interrupts the thing. I'm like, oh well, they showed Halo first. We're going to be getting more Halo. Then the screen gets all glitchy and goes out and goes right. I'm like, it's more Halo. I was so
I'm very excited to see more Cyberpunk. They put out a couple months ago. They put out 40 minutes of gameplay, and that game looks insane.
Yeah. So I'm excited for E3. It can't come soon enough.
Well, it always feels like, after E3 wraps up, it's like, man, that was way too short. Like it didn't take that long to go to E3. Like the year goes by so quick, and then after, when you're waiting for the next E3, you're like, it can't. It's taken too long.
Yeah. Like last year, I was so sure Halo was going to be at E3, and it was. And I was like, yeah. And then I just didn't get enough. And then new hardware is being rumored, and still Halo has to come out. And I'm just waiting for all that to happen.
Wasn't it after the Halo announcement that we started replaying all of the Halo games? Like I went through all of them from like the first one all the way through like Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, I did Halo 1 and 2. And actually played through Reach for the very first time. We played it chronologically, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, so we did Reach, and then we did Halo 2.
No, and Reach 1.
Sorry, Reach 1, 2, and then I think I tapped out because that was about the time I was moving away.
Yeah, I managed to finish up with Troy there.
Yeah, and then next thing I know, you guys are done Halo 3, 4, 5, and doing the Halo Wars.
Yeah. There's a lot of, like a lot of those games I hadn't played, like the Halo Wars and ODST.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to wrap it up early today. We're trying a shorter run time. We've just noticed that the average watch time of our show and our channel is about 17 minutes. So we've been live for about half an hour. So we're cutting it down a little bit. But let's just go through the couple big things this week coming up. I don't know if you can think of anything, but season 8 of Fortnite is coming. So that's happening on the 28th. And your last chance to grab the battle pass, the free battle pass, does it end tomorrow or the day after, Austin?
I think it's the day after. It's on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure.
All right. So you have to complete 13 of the overtime challenges. They're free for everyone. And then you get the battle pass for next season. So if that's your thing, get on it. Apex Legends is still going strong. I will look at the numbers on that and have that ready for next podcast, because that is still a huge game that is drawing a lot of attention and a lot of fans. So
there's not too much coming up in terms of video game releases. We got Dirt Rally 2.0 and the Lego Movie 2. Those are both on February 26th.
All right. And then this coming week, I'm pretty sure we'll find out what our games with gold will be. Because I don't think those have been announced for March.
I recently picked up the ones for February. Pretty good. If you have a chance, go check them out.
Yeah. So, all right. So next week's episode, we'll talk about Apex. We'll talk about the games with gold. We'll have more rumors, speculation, and news. And thanks to everyone for tuning in. This is Live on Xbox. I'm Shawn.
This is Austin.
And have a great rest of the weekend, gamers. Take care.
Like, subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
On Twitter.
So, we're on Twitter. So follow us on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We haven't really done anything with Twitch lately, but we're on there. Like, subscribe. If you like the show, share it with your friends. We are trying to get better, trying to get more compressed so that everyone can just get a quick look at what's happening without staying for the full hour. So, like, subscribe, share. Let us know how we're doing in the comments below. Take care.